Okay, so today we talked about the elimination method. Remember that on the elimination method, we are trying to eliminate one of the variables. So the very first thing you have to do is make sure that the variables are lined up correctly. If you look at number one, you have the y over the x and the x over the y. So we're going to want to switch that around and make this negative 4x plus 2y equals negative 2. And then keep the bottom one exactly the way that it is, 4x plus 3y equals 17. Now, what I'm trying to do is combine these two together. So I want to add them together, and what I want to do is I want to make one of the variables cancel out. So notice that negative 4 and positive 4 would cancel out if I add them together. So my equations are already set up to be eliminated. I don't have to do anything to them except add them together. So negative 4 plus 4 cancels out the x's. 3 plus 2 is 5y, and 17 and negative 2 is 15. So when I divide by 5, I get y is equal to 3. Once I have y is equal to 3, then I need to go back into either one of the equations and substitute it in to find x. So 2 times 3 minus 4x equals negative 2. I'm substituting into the first equation. And so 6 minus 4x equals negative 2. Subtract 6. So negative 4x equals negative 8. And x is equal to 2. So your solution is 2, 3. Okay? Number 2. Notice that 2m and 2m could cancel out if one of them were negative. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply the second equation by a negative so that that becomes a negative 2m. First equation I'm going to leave alone. So I have negative 2m. This will become positive 7m equals a positive 14. Now at this point I can add them together because negative 2 and positive 2 will cancel. 7 and negative 5 is 2n, and 14 and negative 6 is 8. n is equal to 4. Once I have n, I go back and substitute in. So 2m minus 5 times 4 equals negative 6. I can choose either equation I want to do that. I always typically choose the first one. So negative 5 times 4 is negative 20. When I add 20 to both sides, I get 2m equals 14, and m is equal to 7. When you write ordered pairs with letters that are different than x and y, you always want to put them in alphabetical order. So m comes before n, so our ordered pair would be 7, 4 is our solution. Number 3. In this one, it would probably be easier for me to get the x's to cancel out. So I'm going to multiply the second equation by a negative 3. That would allow me to make positive 3x on the top cancel out with a negative 3x on the bottom when I distribute that. And remember, I'm multiplying all three terms by this negative 3. So that becomes negative 3x, this becomes negative 15y, and this becomes negative 12. When I add them together, these are going to cancel. Negative 15 and negative 7 is negative 22y. Negative 10 and negative 12 is negative 22. When you divide y equals 1. When I go back and substitute in, I'm going to go ahead and use a second equation here. So I'm going to use x plus 5 times 1 equals 4. X plus 5 equals 4. When I subtract 5 from both sides, I get that x is equal to negative 1. So my ordered pair is negative 1, 1. Okay, number 4. All right, so on number 4, there's no way for me to make a 3 become a 2 or a 2 become a 3. I can't make a 3 become a 4 or a 4 become a 3. So I can't just multiply one of those equations, but I can multiply 2. So when you have something like this, you may have to change both equations. So for instance, I'm going to make the top one become a positive 6x by multiplying everything by 3. this will make this 6x, 9y, and 24. And then I'm going to multiply the bottom one by 2, and when I multiply that one by 2, I'm going to end up getting negative 6x, and this is going to be 8y, and this is going to be 10. Now, I do that because now negative 6 and positive 6 will cancel out. So I made this one, the top one a positive 6 and the bottom one a negative 6, and now they can eliminate. The x's will cancel. 9 plus 8 is 17y, 24 and 10 is 34. So when you divide, you get that y is equal to 2. Now I'm going to go back and substitute in, and I'm going to substitute into the original first equation. So 2x plus 3 times 2 equals 8. 2x plus 6 equals 8. The table is 6. I get that 2x is equal to 2, and so x is equal to 1. My ordered pair is 1, 2. All right, and now for the word problem. Michael bought some tigerfish at $3 each and some goldfish at $4 each for his new aquarium. If Michael bought a total of 12 fish and spent a total of $40, how many goldfish did he buy? Remember, there's the first thing you need to do is figure out what your variables are going to represent. So we go to the question, which says how many goldfish did he buy, and so we're going to need to let one of our letters be equal to the number of goldfish. So I'm going to let G be equal to the number of goldfish, and hello, goldfish. Oh, I guess I did want a G there. Trying to get goldfish. Talking and writing at the same time doesn't work very well for me. All right, and then the other type of fish is tigerfish. So I'm going to go ahead and let F be equal to the number of tigerfish, because we have two different types of fish there that we're buying. Okay, once I've gotten my variables, I now need to write my equations. Remember that we talked about there's a how many or a quantity equation, and then there's a how much or the total in dollars. And so dollars always go with dollars. So if you look at this equation or this word problem, $3, $4, and $40 should all go in the same equation, and that's going to be how much did he pay for the fish. So there's a how many fish did he buy, and it says that he bought 12 fish total. So between the number of goldfish, G, plus the number of tigerfish, F, he had a total of 12 fish. So that's like how many he bought. And then we have to talk about how much they were. Well, he paid $3 for his tigerfish, so $3 per F, and he paid $4 for each goldfish, so $4 per G. And the total amount that he spent was 40. So notice this is my how much, and it has all the money in the same equation. So these are our two equations. We need to solve them using our elimination method. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply the top equation by a negative, I'm trying to solve for goldfish, so I want G to stay. So I'm going to multiply by a -3, because if I multiply by -3, my F will eliminate, and my answer will have a G in it, and that was what my question was, how many goldfish. So I'm going to eliminate the tigerfish. So this is going to become -3G minus 3F equals -36. Don't forget to multiply that 3 by that last number as well. And then on the bottom we have 4G plus 3F equals 40. Now when I add those two together, 4G and -3G becomes 1. This cancels, and 40 minus 36 is 4. So my number of goldfish is 4. That's all they asked me to find. They didn't ask me to find the tigerfish. If they had, I could go back and put 4 in for G, and that would be 4